Hello and welcome to Work With Me Live. So, this is something new that I am going to try. And okay, first, I'm going to share the link. I'm a little bit rusty because it's been a while since I did my live stream. The reason why I wasn't live streaming is because I wanted to make sure that the sales funnel of my freelancing business is clear. I don't want to keep going live and it's not leading into something like a lead magnet or something that I'm selling. So, that's why I stopped live streaming and like creating all of the videos. I do like to make them for fun, but I thought I need to be super focused and I need to make sure that what I'm doing is leading to my goals. So one of my goals is to help help you. So a lot of my friends I know want to work remotely and want to have a marketing career. So what I did recently is start a Slack community channel. So if you're not there yet, I'm gonna link that. Um, so this is like a totally impromptu video. I was back from a 1 week staycation. So it's a staycation because I really didn't leave the house or anything like that. Um, so I'm just like figuring out the link for the stream so that I could send it to the Slack community because I promised them that I'm going to do a work with me live session and they requested that I do a work with me live session. So I'm just basically going to show you live now. Um, yeah, I'm basically going to show you how I manage my Notion. So that's like the one of the topics that is requested. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm live. Let me know if you can hear me and see me. Yeah. So how have you been? And actually, on May 15 was the celebration or the anniversary of 1 week, 1 year of freelancing full time. Okay. So yeah, so I'm not totally prepared. Like everything is silent in the house, so I thought I'd go live. The kids are napping, so I'm not like look at me. I'm a mess, but it's better too. Um, done is perfect. No, done is better than perfect, or done is better than good. So I'm just gonna go live and see what's up. Okay, and I'm gonna share my screen. And also, I feel like if I don't live stream, like my body is looking for it. If you love to exercise and like for me, I love to dance. It feels like your body is looking for that movement. So it like mentally, my brain is kind of looking for that movement in the live stream. So just like I should stop waiting for the perfect moment and just start live streaming. So what I'm going to show you is how I manage my Notion board. So I use Notion as my task management, project management. I use it personally and I use it for the startups that I'm working with. So currently I'm a full-time freelance writer and project manager. I used to have many services as a freelancer, but I got rid all of them. So I'm not producing videos anymore. I'm not doing voiceover. So my revenue is coming from freelancing and project management for startups and also, my side gig, since I'm fully booked as a freelancer, I'm helping solopreneurs and early stage startups find their virtual assistants. And yeah, I hire writers and virtual assistants for them so that they can grow their business. So if you are watching this and if you are already a freelance writer, what's your question about managing tasks, like how to increase your output, but without output and income, but without adding extra hours? Because like I'm obsessed with lowering the time that I'm working, but at the same time increasing my revenue. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Let me know if you have questions about Notion. So I am obsessed with Notion. Entire screen. So I'm just going to share my entire screen. And I don't think there are, um, yeah, I don't think there are like private information here. These are just basically, so this is my board. Let me see. Oh no, I think I haven't shared it yet. Okay. Let me see if you can see my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen. You're supposed to see everything. Okay, yeah, I think you see my screen. So this is my main Notion board, and I'm using a system called Get Things Done system. So essentially, the system, I like it because I have many ideas, and this system creates a space where you're honoring all of the ideas that you have. So the first step is, once you have an idea, you capture it first, and then just so they're there and that you can come back to it if it's not a priority, and then and the next thing is, of course, like, what are the priorities that you have, the tasks that you have to do that's urgent and critical. So for me, urgent and critical are deadlines for my articles, and also things that I have to do for my business. Like today, I launched my digital download Supercharge Your Business with Virtual Assistant template and bundle on Gumroad. So it's not like a big launch. I have currently 50 subscribers that I just started building like in the past few weeks. So I kind of like launched there. So I just kind of like pushing myself to launch and ship, so it doesn't need to be big. So that's kind of like yeah, one of my goals for myself, because most of the time I find myself working for my clients, but I have to make sure that also I am doing things and growing my business. So this is my main board. So get things done. So capture it first and then prioritize your tasks. So some of the things um uh okay. And I actually work by quarter. So I get all of negotiate all of my projects per quarter. And then so that I can plan them ahead of time. And when I plan, I also can kind of like give 20% of space just in case there are things that will come. Like if I get sick, or if there are new things, new projects that I like and I have to do them, then I have that space. So that's and I also decide how much I want to work per quarter. So that's why this May actually I'm taking a week vacation. I didn't go anywhere staycation. I just basically need to have a space between me and most of my projects, and you could kind of like absorb what happened in the past few months, since because it's already second quarter of 2022. Anyway, so okay, so I plan per quarter, and I plan all of the projects, and then I plot everything here. So all of the things that I know are coming, I plot them. So if you can see here, I actually have already um, deadlines to uh, like in June, but it's just May. So that's usually I try to be like 2 weeks ahead of my deadline. So if the deadline is at the end of May, supposed to be, I should be done by now. So that's like the ideal setup. But sometimes it doesn't happen because I'm a mom. So sometimes things come up, and that's why I wanted to be a freelancer, because I wanted to have the flexibility. So everything here. So the articles are easy because I can plan them ahead of time. I ask my editor to assign them to me in advance, and so that's the main bulk of the freelance writing work. And I have a project management, so usually I create project management task here. And project management is a little bit tricky in terms of, because I, as a project manager, I don't execute. So I create the strategy, but I don't execute. So I create a content strategy, for example, but I don't actually do the writing. So most of the tasks that I have is actually creating tasks for other people so that they can execute. Um, yeah. So that's also planned ahead of time. So I talk to the CEO, what are our priorities for the quarter, and how we're going to plan this out based on the goals and based on the timelines that we have for the startup. And then I create a plan for the notion of the startup. And then like, so the task that I assign here is basically like creating mind maps, because usually that's how I kick off a new project, so that like everything is clear. Creating processes. So not a lot of writing. The writing is mostly like to other people. So yeah, and then that I don't itemize everything here for the project management because that's already been planned out in the startup's Notion project boards. Here, I mostly plan them daily and weekly so that I know when to follow up to people and like when to make sure that deadlines are like deliverables are met during the deadline. So yeah. Hey Ross, thank you so much for joining. Being a mom is precious times. Yeah. So that's why I actually wanted to, sometimes they don't sleep when you want them to. So I have to postpone working and then I'll work later. And today, actually, I worked. I got my morning work done by asking them to sit in front of the TV and watch YouTube Kids while I got like 45 minutes of writing time. So yeah, like I can work really fast. So I can crank out like a press release in less than an hour, as long as I have already done the research and I know exactly. So that's one of my secrets. A lot of the time when I sit in front of the computer, I exactly know what to do. So that's why it takes me very fast. So like, there's a lot of background puzzles in my head so that when I sit down, I exactly know what to do and what to write and like what to tell people to do as a project manager. So yeah, this is how I manage and okay, so the great thing about Notion is that you can create many views for each of your board. So currently this is in board view, but I also have a calendar view so that I can see in like from a month perspective how much work, to make sure I'm not creating so much task in one day. So, it's great to see when all of the stuff are due and you can easily move them. So, currently this is uh well, I still have to submit it so that when I submit it and then goes into the waiting on in review, so when my editor reviews it, I know that currently this is not done until my editor tells me that, this is done. Go ahead in the next revision. So right now, the revision, I've been working with this client for a few months, so our revision process is like really good. Revision process for a new client is always tricky because it takes so much time. Previously, it takes me like 4 to 5 revisions, but now like 1 to 2, and like they're very little revisions. Just kind of uh, polishing some stuff, nothing major like reorganization. That's because I've already know the content guideline and I pretty much know the style of the editor. So that's how I'm getting more done. So an article that maybe so when I started, I think I spent like maybe 20 hours in one article just because also the anxiety around it. But now like I think I'm able to crank out the entire process in like 4 to 6 hours. So I don't do that in one sitting. So like I would assign 1 hour for research. Sometimes some articles like need a ton of research, and then 2 hours of writing time, and then 1 hour editing, and then another editing. So yeah, it's definitely faster. That's basically, as a freelancer, I would highly recommend that until you have a very clear process of one service, do not accept a new client with a new service because that actually eats up your time. And yeah, so for me, it's always like how much is my internal hourly rate, and I'm making sure that the hourly rate is increasing, but at the same time, the hours that I spend for one task is decreasing. Okay, so yeah, I hope this is clear, and I'm just gonna check. Uh, yeah. Oh, so Tanya, I'm just checking if like the people in the community. So like, if you want to learn more about my community, and if you're already a freelancer and you want to join our Slack community, I can ask you to sign up a form so that you are like I can enter you in our hiring pool. So these are the people that I love and I vetted them, and I'm confident to recommend them to clients. So that's basically, yeah, I really love matching freelancers and contractors with business owners, and I'm working on something That's hopefully gonna be huge and kind of solve a main problem for early stage startup founders and solopreneurs, and because usually they don't have a ton of budget for hiring an entire team. So I'm kind of like figuring out that that's my mission basically, to help early stage startup founders scale their business, but at the same time also help people who want to work remotely and want to have a career in marketing. So yeah, basically matching those two pieces, and hopefully they can create magic together. Okay, so yeah, I think that's everything. And I guess I can go into more details about so we've covered my system. So I'm using get things done system. I create this notion, so every time there's a new task, I just write it down. Um, so I mentioned earlier, and I create this buffer queue because I'm using buffer to schedule all of my social media posts, and I do it in batch. So ideally I schedule a month ahead, which, well, not really a month ahead. I like right now I'm 2 weeks ahead. So I like the calendar view. Great idea to see it all together. Yeah, like you can also create many views. So there's like a table view, board view. So board view is and I can also, oh, by the way, so that I'm not overwhelmed, and I when I'm looking at the things that I need to do. No, sorry. Like Notion, who's calling me? Someone always calls me when I'm in the middle of a live stream. Okay, so I'm just gonna turn that into silent and just call them back. Okay. So this one someday is, so there are things that I have some great ideas. I'm really excited, but then when I look at them and then strategize, so I'm fully embracing the project management role and service as a freelancer because I love it. I used to avoid it, but I think it's one of my main skills and also one of the highly paid skills. So I'm really leaning into that. And I've discovered that there is a Google Project Management certificate that you can get. The course is for free. I saw it in Coursera, or maybe there's kind of like a small fee to get the certificate. So it's something that I'm thinking about. So currently I move it to someday because this takes massive commitment. I think it takes 52 weeks or 32 weeks to finish this. So this is not my current goal. Eventually probably would want to take it, especially that I know that Google is working with a lot of freelancers. I don't know, like I just think it's cool to work at Google. I've been in the Google campus, which was mind-blowing because I've never thought that I'll be in Google campus, because when I saw the video in maybe 2010 or 2008, I don't know, like I've never, like I just said to myself that I'm gonna go there, the Google campus is so cool, but I never really thought that it would be a reality. Okay, sorry, I kind of like talked about a little topic there, but yeah. So currently someday that I'm going to review that. I try to review it at the end of the quarter as well, so that I'm, yeah, just like making sure that my tasks are aligned with my big vision. So my big vision is to continue the projects that I have now and like really create a great process for them so I can finish them faster and more efficient, which means that I could free up a few hours and then I can take in a new client. And at the same time, yeah, I'm working on passive income because you only have so much hours as a freelancer, and you can't work 24 hours. I'm working 20 to 25 hours per week depending on the volume of the work. And yeah, so it's really been great. And this is my buffer. So yeah, I have a card here for buffer if you create your own content. And of course I have Molly Mahoney as I have her course, Dancing with Jarvis. She's amazing. I'm also working with Molly. I write their blog posts, repurposing the show notes. So basically, I write the show notes for the live stream. Anyway, if you are like wanting to learn how to write with AI, so I highly recommend that. course, and I use her system to create the content calendar. So when I see things that I like, it goes into the buffer queue, and then it goes. Ideally, I try to do it every 2 weeks, or if I can't, I try to once a month, and then try to schedule all of them. I try to schedule 3 posts a week. I might increase it. I'm still kind of testing. Um, so yeah, I think I have scheduled content until May 30. So yeah, that's really cool. Kind of ahead of 2 weeks. I'll be on a trip starting tomorrow, but I'm still gonna be working. The great thing about my schedule is I work in the morning before the kids are awake. I work in the afternoon when the kids are napping, and I work one more like 1 more hour when they're after I put them to bed. Some yeah. So, and the great thing about that is like I in between I can do a lot. So if they're not napping, we could go out on a trip for that afternoon or in the so yeah. So even if I'm traveling, I can still work and I can still get a lot of things done. But I will, I still try to. And also what I do is I make sure, yeah. So I think I've explained like my buffer process, social media content. There's still a lot of things that I had to figure out. I think, yeah. So I actually have the Gumroad, which I'll provide you with the link. So I have also the quick links here, just something that I usually share to people, like my calendar. Maybe I haven't shared my calendar link here yet. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna share that. I think one of my goals is to transition to passive income, and I've created a digital download so that people. So I've created a process for how I hire people from the Philippines. Um, I listed everything as a guide in a digital template. Oh, I could show you actually. Duh. Since I'm sharing my entire screen. Yeah, so I don't have a lot of data. I just sent it to 50 people. I mean, that's a start. Currently, I'm more interested in the process rather than the sale. It would be great to have sales. So, but yeah, so this is something that I to create once, and people can buy it multiple times. There's no limit, and that's really what I'm looking for, because I don't have to keep sending proposals and then work on the service. It's my knowledge package is a template and guide. So there will be a lot of like learning here, but for now, yeah, I'm learning the process of creating this with Gumroad. I'm connecting it with my MailChimp. MailChimp is my email marketing service. And yeah, so if you are interested in that, like feel free to, I can give you a discount. Just use Super 50 for 50% discount. Okay. Kind of like rusty and I can't easily find where to type things on BeLive. So yeah, of course I'm also using BeLive anyway. Yeah, so that's how I manage tasks on Notion. I'm using the Get Things Done system. If you want to learn more, just search on Google Get Things Done system. And Notion is such an amazing tool. I'm just gonna hide my screen here and go back to full screen. So I'm paying $5 a month for Notion, which is not a lot, and I get a ton of like value from it. And I also use it. Sometimes I hire contractors and assistants. So I hire a graphic designer, WordPress developer, lead generation specialist, like from time to time when I need help, and I use that to manage their tasks as well. So I use Notion for everything. And what else I'm gonna say? So yeah, of course you don't have to use Notion. You can use Trello, Asana, whatever, but at least you need to have a task management or project management system so that you can see all of your tasks at a glance and you can plan ahead ideally. And because what I'm trying to avoid is that there was a month that I took on too many clients and was like always out of breath because like I'm a big planner, and like I have a blog post in 2 days, and like I can't breathe. I haven't started, so that's what I'm trying to avoid. That's why I've asked my editor, if you already know what you want to assign to me 3 months in advance, like just assign it to me so that I can work on it faster at my own pace. And then, if the article is due in June, but I finished in May, like everyone's happy. So yeah, that's how I manage everything. If you want to learn more, if you have questions, please join our Slack community. So I've decided to do a Slack community because I think, especially if you are practicing, like if you haven't done, because I know a lot of people had to work remotely, but now they're coming back. But if you really want to embrace fully remote and work with a fully remote company, I think like joining a Slack community is great. And yeah, like, and it's also great if you're already a freelancer. It kind it or a solopreneur. It tends to be lonely. So like I'm gathering everyone in one place, and we can help each other and chat. So yeah, please do join our Slack community. Let me know what will be your request for the next topic. That I was planning on LinkedIn lead generation as a topic, and I'm going to show you like how I actually do it in LinkedIn. I'm going to show you the actual messages that I'm sending. So yeah, my goal is to help as many people as possible to get their dream remote jobs. And if I've helped you in any way, because I know like the people that I've hired, I know that I've directly helped them get a job. But if at any way that I helped you or inspired you, please do let me know, because that really makes me happy and I can keep doing this. So, yeah, thank you, and hope you like this work with me. I'll see you on the Work With Me Live session.